Welcome to Colts Beer, the podcast where football fever meets cold beer. Here we talk all things Indianapolis Colts, from epic touchdowns to close games to the hottest NFL rumors. Sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and let's tackle the next quarter together. Go Colts!
Hello everybody and welcome back to Colts Beer. It's free agency week, so we are talking today with Andy about the free agency. It's two great things happened this week. We re-signed Alec Pierce, and I'm not on painkiller anymore, so I can have a beer. I got those Anheuser Busch from the Super Bowl party in Cologne. Mm-hmm. What's a better place to drink an Anheuser Busch than an American football podcast? So, yeah, have fun today. Andy, would you like to introduce yourself again?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. It's Andy here from Ireland. Been a Colts fan for many a year. Travel over to Indy quite a bit. My family are from Indianapolis, and my cousins, my family emigrated. Auntie and uncle emigrated, pretty close to when the Colts went from Baltimore, so that was controversial. So they took her up. Just massive Colts fan, leading the line over here from Ireland. Proud to be part of the European Colts group, meeting everyone in November. And yeah, been a hell of a week. So my beer of choice is, again, as per the last one, is a Guinness. And rightly so, leading up to Paddy's Day next week as well. So yeah, cheers everybody, and passing up to Sam.
Cheers, Andy. Great to have you on again. Great to have Andreas back on the beers as well. I've gone for still going through the advent calendar. I'm on to Spain now, just an Alhambra, so just an easy one today. But yeah, looking forward to getting into what started off a busy week. Now it's been pretty quiet last couple of days, but yeah, let's do it. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
So where should we start? Should we start with Andreas' favourite quarterback, or should we start somewhere else?
We already talked about two great things happened this week. So,
all right, yeah, let's start then. Let's start with the wide receiver that everyone wanted back, and there was plenty of concern over the past few days that we weren't going to get him back. But Alec Pierce is still a Colt.
Yeah.
How do we feel? I mean, I'll just start just saying, like, I'm just absolutely over the moon. Like, I know it's an overpay. It was always going to be an overpay. I think when you didn't sign him last year, when wide receivers hit the market, they all get paid. So yeah, it's maybe a couple, 2-3 mil more than what you would think he's worth. But for me, I think it was a no-brainer. It had to be done. So yeah.
I mean, when we sit here after the season, we were like, give Alec Pierce whatever he wants, and then care about the rest. Yeah, and it's kind of that happened. I mean, yeah, you can argue it's a super much money for 1,000 yards, a barely 1,000 yards receiver. Also, he just jumped over it. But yeah, if he takes a step we all expect him to do, he will probably be worth it. But yeah, actually, it's just hope that he's worth it.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think hope. Said it to a few people. I think hope. I think luck. Everything comes into it when it's a big money signing for something like that. However, I think it's the same as, like, pretty much the same money as Chase got, was it, at the Bengals, but the guaranteed was a lot higher. So the agent played a blinder in getting the guaranteed part of the money, with the rest of it based around the longevity and incentives included and stuff like this into it. The biggest difference I feel in this one versus probably other ones, trades that have gone on, and other free contracts that have gone on around the league, is Alec Pierce is on a very much an upward curve towards right to the end of the season. Like, even with a secondary quarterback, like the backup quarterbacks, and then Rivers coming in, like, as almost like a backup at the time to start. He's didn't drop off in the way he played, his intensity, his route running, his catches, and he was the go-to, no matter what it was. That's a big up from where it was 2 years ago, where he was on the cusp of doing something but never did. So we're paying the money for someone that whose line is going clearly in the right direction, and we know he's capable of doing smaller things well as well. We just never really needed to do it. And I know we'll talk about who left the Colts as well this week and that gap that's going to be up there. But we know what this kid's potential is. And he showed that he's ready to fulfill it. And that's why I think we paid the money and had no problem paying the money on this, because of what the realistic potential is. And it's realistic. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah, I think as well, and you touched on it, Andy, I think last season he went from being a deep ball merchant to actually, he expanded his route tree. It wasn't just taking the top off of defenses, which of course he was still great at, but he was doing some more of the kind of mid routes, the 10 to 15 yard routes. He was still winning. He's great in contested catches. I'll end up jinxing him, so apologies in advance, but doesn't drop many balls, Alec Pierce. If they're in his catch radius, he comes down with them.
Or gets a flag.
Yeah, exactly that. And even if we look back at the Texans game, last game of the season, obviously with Riley, before the Texans took out all their starters, Pierce was torching what was one of the best defenses in the league last season. So, yeah, I got high hopes for him. I mean, yeah, like Andy said, obviously we've lost Pitt now, traded to Pittsburgh. So we probably do still need someone who's going to kind of do that dirty stuff that Pitt did, that kind of, the 5 to 8 yard stuff. But with Pierce, I think we're going to see a lot more out of him. He's not just going to be a deep ball merchant. But yeah, I'm just excited. I think as fans, I think we tend to do, you stress out over, we're not in the know. We don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but I think there was the stress levels were high. I think thinking that Pierce was going to hit the market, and a certain team from New England were spoken of quite highly about having him, which I think would have been the nail in the coffin if that had happened. But yeah, just glad to have him back. And I think personality wise, he feels like a true Colt. I feel like that's a guy who's just there to play. He's there. He's going to play football. He's going to play his heart out. He's not a diva. He's not AJ Brown, sitting on the sideline with a book because no one's targeting him. He's just gonna play his heart out. So yeah, excited, very excited.
Yeah.
I mean, all the people complaining about the money were like, "Oh, he only can do deep balls." But you said it just. It's last season he didn't do only deep balls. He did a lot of great mid routes. And also a few short routes, and he's doing first downs. I mean, yeah, if you're doing a 20-yard catch, it's most of the time it's a first down, but he converting a lot of third downs into first downs. That's pretty important too. So yeah, I'm excited. We're going to keep him.
Yeah, if everyone thinks he's just a deep ball threat and the opposition thinks he's a deep ball threat, happy days. Then you drop your safeties, you drop your corners back, and let's pick up 15, 20 along the way and just kind of do that. It's funny, the only other player I can remember in Colts recent memory in the last kind of 10, 15 years that was T.Y. Hilton. And I think that I'm going to reference T.Y. now because he was our deep ball threat over the top, but he was also what Josh Downs was doing now in the middle, and he was also safe hands of what Pittman was. So I'm going to say T.Y. was almost the perfect quarterback, the perfect wide receiver for any parts of that. And at the moment we went in last season, it felt like we had 3 people doing individual jobs, but Pierce has the best chance of doing all those 3 in the right system as well. But I still see him predominantly in the numbers, left-hand side, in the numbers, and it's the 15 to 20 yards, and if the deep one comes, then brilliant. Everyone has to remember the deep ball was only there because our O-line was playing so well.
Yeah.
Putting the gap, giving DJ a chance then to throw it, but also then giving Pierce, who has lightning speed, faster than probably people, think. He seems like he's faster now than what he was in the more than that, but he is lightning speed, and the timing of it is normally perfect. Now we remember him for the big ones, but God, he's so important for us to get out of first down, second downs, things, or to get out of second and third downs when we're in around 20 and 30. He's so important to that, to get us up the field as well. I think it's just a benchmark re-signing that we really, really need and build on.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on, I think there was I can't remember which Broncos cornerback it was. It wasn't Satan, so whoever the other one is, said last season that, like, he was asked a question about, like, who surprised you, like, speed-wise, and he said Alec Pierce. He said he had no idea how quick he was until he played him. So yeah, I think he's got that full package. Like, he can win underneath if he has to. If he's like I said, if it's contested catches, he's a big body. He's going to be able to come down with it. And I think, I mean, you mentioned Josh Downs. I think that was the one big surprise for me this season. Was just his production, especially when Daniel Jones was in. Like preseason, I thought, Josh Downs would be the perfect wide receiver for Daniel Jones. That kind of he's going to quick wins. And it just never materialized. And I don't know whether that's just because teams just automatically try to take him away. They're like, we're going to take away your safety blanket and make you go deep. But I think this season, I think we might get a decent bounce back from Josh Downs. So now it's just finding that other probably wide receiver 3, really. If we can pick someone up in free agency, I have no idea who's still out there wide receiver wise. I think we'll be good, and then probably pick up a mid-round wide receiver in the draft. I'd imagine somewhere around round 4.
I mean, another comparison to T.Y. Hilton, Andy. You said Alec Pierce in contested catches. Either he catch it or he gets the flag. It feels like the PI flags Alec Pierce created felt a lot like back in the days T.Y. Hilton did. I mean, someone in the UK chat, I can't remember who was it, called him T. White Hilton. So it's actually.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at free agent wide receivers who I might quite fancy. I mean, Deebo Samuel could be an interesting one. Probably too rich for us, I'd imagine, though, but that could be an interesting one.
Yeah, if you're on there, is Ayuk still going to go back to the? Like, I know he's out for the year. Like, is he going back to, because the Niners have signed? Have they released the Ayuk altogether, or what was? I never checked up on him. He was the outstanding one that took a year out last year in contract dispute or whatever with them.
Yeah, I felt like someone in the chat mentioned he's on the market, but I'm not seeing him as a free agent, so I don't know.
Just all depends on how they get how fit they really stay. Like,
Yeah.
But you look at some of the other ones, like, I think we needed to add to it anyway. After AD went, which we all kind of had our own views about AD Mitchell, and he's gone and actually done quite well considering the package that's up there. I know what Gino will be probably slinging it to him next season up there as well. Like, but he did leave a little bit gap, and we didn't really want to fill it. And think Doolin came back from injury, but he seemed to be much more of a special teams player, like really reliable actually, and more dynamic on the special teams, but did pop up with a good few receiving plays, right, as third or fourth receiver when he was in there. Can he step up? Then possibly, but I still think it's we need 2 to 3. Definitely 2 to 3 wide receivers, and I would even go as far as saying we need a second tight end. We're not going to get Tyler Warren level, but someone that replicates that to a point that's equally as dynamic, but with safe hands, possibly even a little bit older. Like, obviously, I don't think it'd be we wouldn't go with a rookie and a sophomore tight ends, but we need hands. Well, like the Colts have always needed good hands, safe hands, and then excuse me, follow up with the dynamic plays. Then after that, we're at the losing Pittman, who was hands. Oh my god, the over unders on Pittman used to be like 8 and 9 catches in a game. You know, that's what it used to be. It fell off a little bit last year, but he was still a really, really good safety net. And that's what we need again. We need someone that has just reliable to build upon. And you know, Pierce is reliable when the ball is up. Downs is reliable when the ball is actually like head height, flinging it through the middle. Very reliable. Warren has proved, like, he had a really good first season, but we still need. I still think there needs to be 2 or 3, whether 2 come in the draft and 1 free agent, or an extra tight end that gets, you know, an experienced tight end to come in and solidify that with us as well. Like, it's, yeah, I think they have their work cut out. Like,
yeah. I mean, before we move on from wide receiver, just stay. Oh yeah, go on, Andres.
Yeah, Flo just said, and Joko apparently will be released by the Browns. That would be a great add on.
Joku in from a red zone point of view, imagine Warren taking JT in behind, like as that as an option. That would be a bully of a team, like, you know what I mean? That's I don't know, but I think he could go in as tight end 1 somewhere. And take the number 1 spot from tight end from another team, rather than, I think anybody that's coming to Indy in a tight end position knows they're going to be number 2 on snaps to Tyler Warren. But in the setup wise, given how many wide receivers there is, they've got a much better chance of actually playing more ball than they probably would be somewhere else.
Yeah, looking at the other free agents, Will Dissly could be an option. He could be a tight end too. Zach Ertz, I mean, I guess if you're going to get a year out of someone,
Ertz oh man, Ertz had big numbers last year, like, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he had a decent season. So I mean, sure.
If we keep in-house, I was so unhappy with Ogletree.
Ogletree, yeah. As long as he doesn't injure people, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving you towards kryptonite. Yeah, no.
So don't remind me on that.
I've been saying. I mean, I think Big Mo will be back. I'd imagine they've got to bring back at least one of them. I think just from a blocking standpoint, they'll have one of those guys back.
Yeah, from a blocker. Yeah.
So yeah, then you just need another receiving tight end, because we've got what's his name?
I already have solid hands. So
yeah. Mallory, that's it. I mean, he was a healthy scratch towards the end of last season, so I don't know whether they've got any plans for him, but probably not. But yeah, no. What I was going to say before we move on from wide receivers, obviously, is Michael Pittman is no longer a Colt. So I mean, first of all, if you got to start, I mean, he was a fantastic Colt. I know some people, I think, because he never truly became that wide receiver 1. I think, you know, what we think of as wide receiver 1s, the Jeffersons and the Chases of the league. But he was still fantastic for the Colts, you know. I mean, and that guy fought as well. Like, you know, if you could pick a more polar opposite person of Michael Pittman and AD Mitchell, personality wise, they are as polar opposite as possible. You got a guy there who'll just fight for everything, yards, his teammates, you know, anything that came his way, he was going to battle as hard as he could to catch. So I think he's going to be a huge miss. Personally, I think locker room wise, it'll be a big miss. And, you know, he's a guy he takes the heat off of, you know, the Pierces and the Downs in the team. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't quite bring myself to say good luck to him in his next venture, because, you know, if he went to the NFC, I'd be maybe thinking it. But, you know, Steelers, I hope he doesn't do very well there. But he's been a great Colt, so gonna miss him in Indy.
Let's wish him a good life and a bad career.
Yeah.
And there's massive irony, I feel like, because that was the one franchise that tried to put him in hospital about 5 times, I'd say. I that would have went down like on the thing, but he that guy took hits and got up and got on with it and continued to play when other players would have been gone. Do you know what I mean? And we know he played hurt for portions of each season, but he was ultra reliable. Who ended up getting the cardboard cut out in Frankfurt? Because that was the one that everybody wanted, and I know somebody in the blue crew got his cardboard cut out from the from the pub, the Pittman cardboard cutout. I've selfie pictures taken were brilliant, like at like 1 a.m. or whatever were they from the pub. And I know we went back on the Monday morning before we flew back.
It was Andre has it.
Oh, Andre has it. There you go. Yeah. So might have to get him a terrible towel to put beside it now just to wind him up, like.
Guys, you know, when you're talking about Frankfurt, what I just realized, this picture up here, I will destroy everything. I got this from Frankfurt.
Oh, wow.
But do you see something? It's Pitt and Franklin. Clearly, this picture is falling apart.
God, it doesn't even feel like that long ago. Wow.
No.
Yeah. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But so we've got Pierce back, and I think one of the main reasons why he came back, I mean, if you listen to what Alec Pierce has said, one of the main reasons he came back is for number 17 is now also remaining a Colt. 2-year contract, 88 mil up to 100 mil for Daniel Jones. I'll start because I know that there's someone over here that's maybe not the biggest fan of the decision, but I've made my peace of it long ago. Like, you know, if you look back to the first 10 games of the season, we were rolling. You know, maybe not the Steelers and the Falcons game. You know, that it wasn't maybe the best offensive performances, but the 8 games prior to that, we were setting ridiculous numbers, historical numbers on offense. You know, everything was clicking. JT was firing. Pierce, just everyone was just absolutely firing. Tyler Warren was killing it, and Daniel Jones was a big part of that. I think he shocked everyone. You know, he won the training camp battle. You know, whether people think it was a battle or not a battle, whatever. He was QB1, and I think a lot of us went into the season with a quite a negative mindset or a negative outlook on what we were going to get. And I think what we got was great, you know. A couple of bad throws here and there. I think the Rams game maybe was probably out of that first 8. The Rams game was the only one where he looked a bit shaky. I think the rest of the games he was really solid. So I think
he had a bad start against the Jags, but he wasn't fully fit as well. But then he came out on the second drive and drove them up the field for the touchdown to restart. Or was it the opening pass or first? It was an interception.
Yeah,
and I remember X blowing up, going, "Oh, here we go! This is the real Daniel Jones." And then the next drive, he drives them up and touchdown. And then after that, then he gets injured, and we collapse not only in that game, but then the season. Collapses on top of that.
And
so
even that game, obviously, he's playing on a fractured leg at that point. So he's, you know, there's toughness there. Obviously, all the teammates, you know, I mean, whether you think he's a good player or not a good player, every teammate has basically said that they love Daniel Jones. Like, no one has had a bad word about him. Alec Pierce is out there in the locker room after the season's finished saying, you know, if Daniel Jones is back, it goes a long way to me coming back, sort of thing. So I think that tells you everything you need to know about the character that he brings to the locker room. He's not one of these rah-rah guys, is he? But I think it's just more of a quiet kind of lead by example guy. But, you know, I'm happy that he's back. I think we've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think the start of the season, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt based off of how we started. So the Achilles is obviously the big concern. That's the only real concern I have. It's a lot of money. Will he be back? Will he ever be back to health? He's young, so you got to assume he's going to heal. But I think when you look at the contract as well, obviously, the big numbers, everyone's talking about 50 million guaranteed first year sort of thing. But from a cap perspective, I think Chris Ballard has done something that's not very Chris Ballard-like with all the void years at the end of it. So a 14 million cap hit, I think it is this year. So, we've saved 24 million based off of what he would have been if he stayed on the tag. So I think contract-wise, it feels like a little bit of a win. I know it's a lot of money, but I think it gives us some flexibility. If everything goes pear-shaped, I think you're on the hook for about 26 million, I think, year 2. So it's not the end of the world if it's like, fine, let's just cut ties and we'll go our separate ways sort of thing. So yeah, I think it's good. There's some just stability as well in the position. You guys know what we've had since the Luck injury. I've lost count on 12, 13, 14 starting quarterbacks, whatever it is at this point. And to just have a guy start a season twice in a row it's going to be something quite new to us Colts fans. So yeah, no, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I made my freedom with that situation a while ago. At the end of the day, it's much less worse than I expected. Do I like the situation? We have Dyson and Daniel Jones back? No. Everybody knows that. I didn't want to have that situation. But the moment we announced we are going with Shane Dyson, it was absolutely clear we're keeping Daniel Jones for barely every price. I was expecting a much worse contract for Daniel Jones. Much higher, much more guaranteed, much longer. So it's kind of for me in the moment, because I was expecting a bad contract from my perspective. It's like, yeah, okay, I can live with that. The situation is what the situation is. I can't change it. I would still kind of root for him or something like that. But yeah, we have the situation. It was clear he will stay. Everybody knew it, and it's money-wise, like you said. If he's not coming back, or if he's playing bad, and next season we're going to fire Shane Dyson, and the new head coach has open choice if he want to go on with Daniel Jones, or just dump this 26 million and pick his own quarterback, or choose his own quarterback, because we don't have picks. But yeah, it's kind of probably surprised, at least you, Sam. It's kind of fine for me that Daniel Jones contract.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when everyone saw that 2 years, I think that got the people that were maybe unsure about Daniel Jones a little bit more on side, because I think the fear was it was going to be 4 years, somewhere between 150 and 180, and you're looking at thinking, well, we've mortgaged the future, and is his Achilles going to be fine? Was the first 8 games versus the final 2 that he played healthy? Was it a mirage sort of thing? So I think those 2 years, I think it's sensible. Also, obviously, Ballard got nothing left on his contract now. This is his last year. There's a bit more flexibility now. I feel like if things go badly, then I think it's not as drastic for the next regime coming in.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with this. You guys know I've been preaching about Daniel Jones from preseason last year, and it was based on his performances for New York before the dreaded end season, which was the one season that got him, ended up getting him caught and spiraled down. But the season before that, he led them to the playoffs. I'm 3-0 with Daniel Jones. Watching him, I watched him in Tottenham Stadium beat the Packers, and I'm 2-0 from last year. I witnessed to see what his first throw was like out to Tyler Warren on the opening play last season. And that play gave the entire stadium a massive lift. One, because it wasn't an interception and it wasn't a drop, or it wasn't like something stupid that everybody was kind of hoping for. What I will say is, up until the injury, he was on the same trajectory as what like Sam Darnold was. And I know it's a big comparison because we're talking about a Super Bowl champion now, but everything in line with them two together, where they were in Minnesota, had them playing pretty much similar. Stats were pretty much not far off similar with regards to completions and where they were thrown to, the type of play that Seattle's defense was unbelievable. So that was kind of a different thing on that. But what Sam was saying is right about the mindset that he's shown based around what his teammates have said is very similar to what leadership is needed in that position. So they're paying for that. Second one I will say is this is not an injury that's being forced by another team. This is our injury and our medical staff to monitor from day one. It's not coming from second, third opinions, us getting glimpses in to see someone, are they right, are they not? We're managing this from as soon as it happened to when the recovery time beginning. So paying the money that goes to go along with that, or giving the contract, is also putting faith in our medical staff, who people might question over how many times I think they're overworked sometimes in a given our luck that we've had over the years. But we're putting faith in our medical staff and our training staff to get him back to the way he was. And we're also putting faith in Daniel Jones himself to work on this and to get it right. All the timelines coming out of it is indicating that he will be ready for preseason and for week 1. Can we say that now? No, it's way too early, because the next you're talking like 4 months is still the middle of July, and that's when camp starts coming back, start of July, and prepping up for the preseason games was the first week of August. That's when we start kind of seeing, and I'd be worried. I don't see it as being as much of a risk as others do, but it would be. I think the backup is going to be more important now than ever before. And I think the money that we're giving them on this one does allow us to do something a little bit better than probably what we have as a backup now. Maybe be able to do something with that. Every team at the moment seems to have a decent 1-2 in some format. I think we made a mess of it last year. Very unlucky with Anthony Richardson and with the injury. Not backing Riley Leonard, I thought, was really poor on the Colts by bringing in Rivers instead. I can understand the kind of meaning behind it and stuff like anyway. But now I think we know we need a very capable number 2 that's ready to kind of come in, especially because the percentage is high that Daniel Jones will be fine, but it's also high that it could, something could happen again, and then we're left in limbo kind of all over again, possibly earlier in the season. I think it's brilliant for the team. I think it's brilliant for stability. I think the wide receiving core are going to be delighted. I think Pierce signed because of a big, really wanting Daniel Jones to be there. And I think we'll all be behind him. I think you'll be starting under center in game 1, and we'll hopefully forget about all the contract stuff for what happened for the previous 8 months. Like that would be a great day if that happens.
Yeah, I think for me with the injury is now that we've got him signed, is I just want him to take it a little bit carefully. Like if it's like he's only 75% to 80% ready week 1, then let's just take it steady. And if it means it's week 2 or week 3 that he starts, that's better than him going out and snapping an Achilles week 1, and just because we had to get him out there because we paid him. Like I think now we can maybe be a bit more cautious about it. But yeah, completely agree with the backup situation. I think I'd imagine the team are now kicking themselves having seen. I'm not saying that Riley Leonard would have got to the playoffs or anything like that, but having seen what he did against the Texans first half, even when the starters were out there, I imagine they probably look back and think, well, maybe we should have just stuck with it. Even just the given the Seahawks game, like if you've signed Rivers, fine, give Rivers 2 weeks to get off of the couch and in some sort of shape, and just give him a game and then see where you go. But I'm looking at what there's available. I think Kyler Murray to the Vikings looks like that's going to happen. I mean, that would have been a good option. Yeah. So
I just don't rate him. Like,
no, I would completely anti that. I'd rather Riley Leonard.
Yeah, I just don't. I think he's got brilliant attributes that I think his running game, his pace, getting in and out of the pocket, and his short throws. But he I think he is the smallest quarterback in the league. Like it's very hard to. I just couldn't see Pierce getting very many deep balls off Kyler Murray under center. However, Kyler Murray with JT as a double running option and the gap opens up, then we'll take it. But I'm not. I think there's better options out there, and I'm with some of the guys that do be on a group and saying you're better off going with Riley. Look, and we also know, Richardson, it's still there. He's the wild card in pretty much all of this. Everyone has the views on it, and it's very silent on Anthony Richardson for the last kind of 2 weeks. For the last week since the Daniel Jones one. All the talk from beforehand was would he move? What would happen with a thing? It's kind of gone quiet in the last few days. Like, despite some of the chats we've had with the guys and thing, I am a fan of him. Like, I do think he has his benefits and his things or what it is. But as soon as you look at the stats, that's when I feel like he doesn't have enough on tape to warrant to start. Now this is going head to head with Daniel Jones. Is Richardson a better option to have on the bench in game situation to come in for Daniel Jones than what Riley Leonard would be? It depends on the situation. In the 20-yard when we're starting on our 20, no. When we're and then Jones goes down and we has to come out for 1 or 2 snaps and we're on the opposition 20 or in the red zone, hell yeah. Like, that's where we know he can maximize things and he can be devastating. But the in-between part, you just don't know, So he's the wild card in all this, I think. And let's see what happens with it.
Yeah. Do we see a situation where Anthony Richardson is staying with the Colts, actually? I mean, you said it. It's pretty quiet about him.
Yeah.
For me, the Colts would be stupid to give him away for less than a third, and probably no one actually will pay a third. So it's kind of that situation. I mean, he has a really bad reputation. His ceiling is still ridiculous. But no one will pay it, and it's stupid to give him away super cheap. So I kind of see him staying kind of unlucky, but he's probably our backup quarterback week 1, and probably our starter week 1.
Yeah, I could see him staying. I think there's no real need for teams to dive in now to trade for him. I think now that if the Vikings go Kyler Murray, there's no teams out there. The Dolphins have done what they've done. There's no teams out there that are really looking for a starting quarterback now. So there's no mad rush for someone to go and get a backup quarterback that might be a future a quarterback for the future sort of thing. So it could heat up again, but I could easily see him back in Indy. I think as long as his head can be in the right space, obviously he's been through a tough time. I don't think he's necessarily done right by the Colts, and I think very much the Colts haven't necessarily done right by him, just in the whole situation. So it's just if he can get his mind set and like, right, I'm going to be here for the team, I mean, it's such a shame that the eye injury, an absolute freak injury. last season was basically set up for the kind of prodigal son return story, right? You know, Daniel Jones has got the team to 8-2. He's fractured his leg. Great. Let's go and send out AR. Let's see what he's actually got. And, you know, he's broken his eye socket on a resistance band. Like, you can't make it up really at some point. So I think, and for teams as well, whether they think he's great, like the Vikings, obviously Kevin O'Connell was not raved about him, but I think, you know, people have seen what KOC did when we played the Vikings and thought, you know, there was a link there. But teams must be scared about his availability at this point. You know, do I want to go and trade a third rounder for a guy who just hasn't been able to stay healthy, whether it be complete bad luck with the eye or, you know, the shoulder injury, which was just a normal tackle that most people would just get straight back up and you're on to the next play, and he tears his labrum in his throwing shoulder. Like, I'd be quite concerned about trading from him if I was a franchise. I'd be thinking, oh, the Colts are just going to release him, or we'll get him next year for nothing. So I could definitely see him being a backup this season for Indy.
Yeah,
I'm looking at what's out there. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is maybe the only thing that, like,
Rodgers, Flacco. I mean, we could have this podcast back in 2000, and with the names would still be coming up. Like,
I mean, Carson Wentz is still there. He's still on the board. If we want to run that.
Yeah,
I thought the worst name was Flacco, but then came back as Wentz.
I think it'll come down to seeing who's left in the draft as well. I can't see us drafting a quarterback this year just because we have Leonard. Like, and again, if you keep AR, then great. Like if AR's fit, Leonard is fit, and Jones stays fit, that's a decent quarterback room. That all can. Special look. I know I say about AR. I still think he is the best quarterback in the league from 5-6 yards out. I don't think anyone's stopping him in shotgun from 5-6 yards out. He's the equivalent of a tush push. We're out getting 1 yard. The guy will get a touchdown every single time. And the question mark then goes, well, is he a fullback rather than a thing? And if it is a case of doing that, like, then Steichen is crazy enough to draw plays where someone like that can be maximized from 5-6 yards out when you want decoys of runners with Jonathan Taylor and that, and having a decoy or whatever. Just there's no one better. The problem is the rest of the field getting them up to that part. Like, that's always the thing part. But I think it'd be interesting. I do think there's very limited scope out there as to what, like, and you see Tua going. That's what someone we put up. Someone, wasn't it? He should go back to Miami, just replace one injury prone intercept machine with another injury prone intercept machine. Being harsh, but I actually said I think I put up saying he should go back to Miami. That's where he's from. That's where he went to school, and you know, a reset, like we said about Nick Cross going back up to Maryland, like. Maybe a reset the whole thing all over again back home and building on it is maybe something you know, Miami could help with on that. And they got Willis, didn't they, in as their number one this year? Yeah, he's good. Like, that's an offense now that suddenly has something to build on as well. Malik Willis is very underrated as being for a backup. He'd be great. He would have been great. Oh, all the who we would love to have had. Like, my God, like, there's so many of them.
he would have been quite a lot of money for a backup.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so before we move on to the defense, what we've done so far, I think the only other offense change really, or big change, is Braden Smith is now a Houston Texan. Again, another guy who I want to say good luck to, but now I definitely can't say good luck to. I mean, hope he stays healthy and his family are all good. But yeah, I hope he stinks it up in Houston, to be honest. But
it's amazing the team choice.
Yeah,
you know, how the difference in opinion is like
Yeah.
Braden's leaving. Oh, best of luck. You're going to the Texans. Oh, good luck. Bye.
Yeah. Like when Ryan Kelly had the decency to go to the NFC, it's like, fine, you're going to retire a legend, and now Braden. No, I mean, I joke. Like, obviously, again, he was good for the Colts. I think I don't know whether the Texans are getting a good player or not. I think they're getting a solid player. It's just whether he can stay healthy and whether he can get back to what he was, which for offensive linemen, that's pretty tough to bounce back, I would say. But yeah, I mean, I think he was a certainty to go. There was no way we were re-signing Braden Smith this season. I think Jalen Travis came in. And he looked like it didn't really look like we missed a beat there at right tackle when Travis came in.
Well, the Texans obviously rate him as well now because to bring him in because for the end of the season, Stroud was getting smashed up. He was getting smashed up.
I mean, the Texans have done some weird other stuff on that offensive line. Some of the other moves they've made are old. So Braden Smith's probably the only good move they've made on that line, I'd say, this offseason. So it will be interesting to see because we all saw when CJ Stroud's under pressure, he turns into a pumpkin. So he's absolutely useless with the pressure on him. So hopefully that continues.
Yeah.
Have we ever talked about the Wonder League test from CJ Stroud?
The what? Sorry.
Do you guys know that Wonder League test quarterbacks doing at the combine? It's like a kind of IQ test for quarterbacks.
Oh yeah. I know the test. I just wasn't sure what CJ did with it.
CJ Stroud had the worst ever.
Oh, really?
So that explains why he becomes a pumpkin under pressure because he actually is.
The brain doesn't process quick enough.
The moment he has to think about stuff, he just fails.
There's not much. Oh man. But yeah, so that's offensive side of the ball. Now defense, I mean, I don't know what your guys' concerns level are on the defense right now, but mine are ramping slightly. There's so many gaps right now. So I think talking about what we've done, on the defensive line, it feels like we've basically kind of just recycled without using the same players what we had last year. So we've lost Ebingham, Pay, Lewis, three kind of what you'd probably call them defensive ends, 3, 4, 5 for other teams, and then we've replaced them with the same same caliber of player, Michael Clemens, Arden Key, and I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Wooden.
Oh no, I was saying the other DT that we got. And Nadi, is it? So and Woolen as well, obviously in the Zaire trade. So yeah, I mean, obviously, by the sounds of it, it looked like Hendrickson was coming to Indianapolis before the Ravens did what the Ravens did. Getting one back for the Mayflower trucks, but
that's on us. That's all on us.
And I think this is probably the biggest knock that Colts fans have had on Ballard over the years is I don't know if I call it penny pinching, but it's Ballard seems fine to go in with what he thinks is the offer and then let them go and test the market elsewhere rather than just being like, well, I'll give you $5 million a year extra and I'll get the player that I want. Which it looks like it's happened here. I think we had 25 million on the table for Hendrickson and he is now gone for 30. So yeah, we need to do something at defensive end. And whether that, I mean, looking at what's happened, and now the problem is, it looked like all the eggs were in the Hendrickson basket, and you've missed out on everyone else. So there's nothing. I mean, trade's about the only option you've got now, I think.
I can't say unless we're going to pull, and I haven't gone into the draft fully, but it would be a big ask to put a rookie in a defensive end straight away in this defense, because it's still a rebuild, even though some of the people have been there a good while, and there's some experience in there as well. It's still a fairly rebuild, and it's a new, it would lose kind of having one season. Like you'd expect the defensive coaches to have at least kind of 2 to 3 before they set their stamp on what it would be. We saw glimpses of it last year of how he wants to be set up. He brought Pratt in. I think he did want to have Pratt and Hendrickson in the same setup, like, and start trying to get back to what the Bengals setup was from 2 years ago. And before that, it's a really tough one. Like, it's a massively tough one because I don't think the talent is there. I think it's all like for likes, and depending on injuries, hidden injuries, age profiles, personalities, and then cap space, especially, are freeing up how much people will cost. It's the only, there's not much else out there. That's the problem.
Yeah. No, I mean, agreed. Especially at edge, it's now, Ballard talks about younger and faster, and what's left at edge is older and not faster right now. So I think there's been a lot of talk about Jonathan Greenard as a trade option. I think Kayvon Thibodeau as well. I mean, so someone who might be trade worthy. If you can do that for the 3rd round pick or the 4th round pick, then you probably got to pull the trigger, because like you said, Andy, it's hard enough saying to someone that you're picking at 20, saying, right, we need you to go and be the starting defensive end. To be trying to get that from 47, is that standard of player at 47 going to be a starting defensive end from day one? I don't see it. So
no.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some work to do, and what you said, in terms of rebuild, that front 7 is a rebuild. Even what we got, Buck, Grove, and Latu basically are going to be the only guys back from that front 7. Everybody else is going to be new. I don't know whether maybe they'll bring Pratt back. It wouldn't surprise me if Pratt comes back on a cheap 1-year deal.
Yeah, Pratt was, I thought, pound for pound, Pratt was brilliant for us. But when he didn't get it right, he really got it wrong. But when he got it right, he was all over the park, smashing people. I think one big thing with the defense for next year, if they're going to rely on pushing the cornerbacks and the safeties up and having the linebacker or the any of the defensive ends or anyone on the back having to drop and go with the runner, it needs to be someone that is lightning fast, like really like we're getting back to Shaq Leonard type of coverage in the hole. And Pratt got caught, must have been 5 or 6 times at the end of the season, because he was asked to do something that every Colts fan were looking, going, he's not fast enough to cover that gap. If it goes over 10 yards, he's gone. Like he's not going to be able to catch a receiver, tight end, or whichever running back is on that. So if they're going to continue playing that setup, they need to have someone that's done that type of coverage before. And then see on that. From the rush point of view, I mean, I'm similar to you, so I'm having a quick look again through, and the Bills are releasing have Bosa and what's the name thing is there, Epenesa. They're both, but you're talking 31 for a age profile. Bosa, Epenesa on edge is 27. I mean, my Cam Jordan is there, and he's like 67 or something. He's 37 now. Like, that's the level of people that are still in the league. Like, even though Cam Jordan's a legend, like, whatever, but that's the type of, you look through the whole profile, and it's either someone at the age profile of 27 is going to snap up. As soon as you hit over 31 to 32 years of age, the money's going to drop. The injuries start kind of probably picking up a bit more, but you're limited. That's the thing. Latu needs to step up this year. My God, does Latu. I thought he done really well last year and was a step up on the previous. I'm going to be critical and say some of those interceptions fell into his hands a few times, and he was in the right place at the right time, which again is an attribute of luck. Andreas, there was a couple of those that literally were there, and he turned around and went, the ball was floating in front of him like Casper. Like, oh my God. Yeah, so he did. But now the rest of the game was a step up from where it was before. This year, it doesn't need to be a step up. It needs to be a leap, because that's what. And he also knows that he's a chance now to make the leap, to become, like, you know, this is a chance for you to become, you don't want to say a legend for the Colts, but an established. You want to be going into your next 2 years for your contract going, I want the Colts to be paying me mega money because I am indispensable to them. Like, you know, and they've done this to develop and all. So this year, I think, does need to be a leap for him.
The issue is for him, if he would get Hendrickson on the other side, he would have a breakout year for sure. But right now, he's going to get double and triple teamed and stuff like that. If our defensive line will stay like it is, we hope it's not. But then Latu will have a really hard year to dominate in any way, because he will face at least double tagging every play. We have here. I don't actually know who is it. Of course, we all want him, but they will not take AR for Crosby in 1-on-1.
2028-9 draft picks, I guess.
That's in there.
And yet,
Abercam signed with the Falcons.
Like just signed with the Falcons.
Yeah. Falcons, I swear to God, Falcons they finished the season like so well, and their signings have been really really decent. Same with them and the Saints in that division. Suddenly, is that division's going to be like really competitive right to the end, like the way it was last one. Sorry, I was going to also mention, we also do have a fairly new signing in Sauce Gardner, because we did not get to see nothing more or less last year, bar was it 2.5 games or a couple of games, and not even. You know, what we saw was, quite good. We got to see a couple of past blockdowns in Germany, and then kind of he was doing okay, but settling in, losing them for the rest of it, and then he's going to be like a new signing. Like, that's the thing. Like, going into next season, so him having a full preseason with his teammates in the system, everything like that, it's going to be major pressure on him as well. Because now I don't think that the 2 first rounders look bad based on where it's happened now because of the injury. And I get that. However, his age profile and potential can be worth those 2 first rounds. But again, this is not a development one. He doesn't have time to take a step up. This is him established, Sauce Island on that side of the field, done. This has to be from game 1 next year. So I think we're running.
Also, it will be all the time. We could have had for these 2 first rounders Max Crosby. So he will always have to live with that comparison.
He can't. He
have done for the team. So he have to have the impact like Max Crosby would probably have. So, like you said, he has to dominate in the backfield.
No choice. Yeah, and we know what the receivers in our division is like, and we all know what our schedule is like for next year, and we're going to get roasted at times from quarterback play and deep threats, deep balls, everything. He has to be on point from the start. The Max Crosby one. Something's not right there. Yeah. Something is definitely not right, that the medics or something's going. Now, while the rumors are saying on it is that we're going to Dallas will come in and try and do something as the next one. But I do think there's something wrong there, and you know, can you imagine in a month or two's time? Like, imagine all goes quiet on Crosby now, like for the next week, and are you telling me that like we have not got the history of doing something nuts like that? Like, yes, we do. There's 100% chance we have a chance of bringing in Crosby on something bonkers. Would it destroy our next 5 years? Probably, but would he do it? Yeah, he's nuts enough to do it. Like, that's the thing. Like, but yeah, I'd watch the space. Like, but there's definitely something off on that. That's fully not being apparent. So, hence the drop off. Like, you know.
Yeah, it feels like it's got the Cowboys written all over it.
Yeah.
It really does.
Not Jerry. Yeah.
But no, I mean, if you would, only way I could see us getting in would be a player and a pick. I don't think we could do 2 firsts, given the situation.
No, we can't. We can't even do 1 first anymore. Like, yeah. we cannot afford any more first.
I mean, maybe DeForest Buckner. I don't know. Like, if I'm looking at players that are tradable from the Colts, that a team
I really hate that thought I just had, but the Raiders really need a receiver, and of course it would be not Alec Pierce, but we're still having.
If we traded Alec Pierce now, no.
But if you can get Max Crosby for Josh Downs plus a little bit.
Oh wow, my God, Andrea! Oh God,
I hate this
one. Dude. No, we're not getting rid of Josh Downs. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, I love him, but yeah,
no, there's no buts. Like, that Josh Downs is. Josh Downs is next to get absolutely paid. Like,
yeah,
contract year, right, for Josh Downs now? Contract year, I think he'll be up next. Right?
Next year, isn't it? Yeah.
This is year 4 for him.
He will have 31 teams going for him. Like
3, 4, 5, 6, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be in massive demand. And all right, I see where you're coming from now. If we got our 2 first-round picks back for him, that level, like, then someone would be mad enough to do that. He'd need to have one hell of a season this year to command multiple high picks on that. But I think that's for his age profile, what he's doing, how he does it, and how important he is a slot receiver on this team, predominantly slot receiver. Given the makeup of it, I think he's indispensable in this offense.
But what's the bigger impact for our team? Is it Josh Downs, or is it Josh Downs and a 3rd-round pick, or is it Max Crosby?
Well, so if you're talking a fully fit Max Crosby, then I take the Max Crosby. But this is not, like, again, the Colts fan base will have the exact same argument over the Daniel Jones thing. They can do the same with the Max Crosby one of how that thing. Second one on the Max Crosby one, I'm just going to say as a thing, his attitude stunk towards the end there with the Raiders, and I know it's the Raiders, of the way it was handled, the way he came out for that. I know he got the Raiders handled it badly, but I think him coming out publicly and slating it then after the thing, there was a whole mess on there. Hence why he's fully available and being done now. A fully fit Max Crosby, would be any team would pay multiple picks for.
Yeah. Going back to free agents that we could maybe look at for this defense. a former Colt, I think, is a higher probability now in Bobby Okereke. I think
future Hall of Famer Bobby Okereke.
If we're talking about a linebacker that can cover, can do it all, I would.
There's 2 of them, isn't there? There's Okereke and there's Okereke.
Yeah.
I think, and there might be another one in there as well, depending on which commentator is commentating on the game. Like, yeah.
I would take him back in a heartbeat. I think obviously we had to let him go at the time because of the Shaq Leonard contract. Didn't obviously know what was going to happen with the injuries and stuff, but he was a guy that was tough to let go at the time. So I'd have him back in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's gone for. I think this whole thing, it's got the feel of quantity over quality, and that's the way we're going to do it. We're going to fill the whole the defense with 6-7s and 8 with Latu and Buck being probably around the 9s, potentially, but rotating in and out, rotating 7s in and out is a lot better than rotating a 9 for a 6, if you know what I mean. And it just gets it looks like he's just filling it with quantity over quality and having the rotation being a solid rotation. That's what they're kind of aiming for. There's no God. I don't think we're going to have a standout this year. Like, and again, unless something crazy happens.
I just realized when Flo was writing, he's expecting some crazy moves like I just pictured.
Yeah.
And we really love picks and contracts are expiring next year. I was just checking the free agents 2027. Wow. Wagner, Nelson, Taylor, Stewart, Moore, Richardson, Doolan, Sanchez, Downs, Blackman, Schrader, Groupie. Yeah, and a lot of smaller names.
Yeah, I mean, picking up that
crazy list.
Quentin Nelson will be getting extended this year. I'd imagine that might hit in a not too distant future. Figuring out
but there's your you want a first round and a bit more.
Yeah,
there's your bell cap. Like there's your one position. Now, he has been. I have his jersey hanging inside. I take pride in wearing it a lot. Yeah, man. Like it would kill me to see it. But age profile again, and I keep going on about age profile because of it, because I think teams for fans have a tendency to love a player for what he does, but then forget the age profile coming up. Like, just I'm turning 48 next week. I forget I'm 48 and what that means. Like, and my body reminds me of a hell of a lot at times. Like, but as a fan of a team, I love certain players and what they do and how they do it and all. But being professional and looking at the age, looking at the how many years ahead in the position that it is, the one thing I will say is I think he got better last year in the first games with Jones there as well. I thought they opened up the first, was it the first 5 games where he was, going left and right, like he wasn't just straight off block. He was belting people, and a lot of the Jonathan Taylor touchdowns and Daniel Jones breakthroughs came from him sweeping across, taking out the left, the right hand side of a sweep, and he showed that his age is not going to be a problem. Now, another big season, what could come next year? That fourth round pick could be still on the cards for next year, and that's the thing, and that's going to be a massive dilemma then, like of where the Colts kind of go with that.
I think Is this his last season, Andres, contract wise?
Which one's Q's?
Yeah. Yes, it's you'd have to trade him this year.
Yeah, that's or pay him.
Yeah, that's that. I could, if Ballard wasn't in this scenario that he's in, Ballard and Steichen, where they've got to win this year, I could see that move. But at this point in time now, to go and trade away the linchpin of your offense, and I know he's a guard, so he's not as important as a left tackle. But the way that we play, I mean, maybe he is, like you've already mentioned how he pulls, JT was actually killing it when he was flying. I don't think Ballard has the leeway to trade him now and get decent play this year to win, to actually be around for the future. So I think from Ballard's perspective, he's probably going to look at going, I need Quentin Nelson. I think he'll get extended. And yeah, I think it'll be quite soon. So I think they'll probably be able to free up some more cap space, I guess, if they get crazy with it.
So are we saying guard in the draft then to that guard for understudy full on with like, because you're probably talking a big money 2-year deal in 2027, retains him, and that gives someone then a 2-year platform to be working behind. What is he? Has he ever missed a Pro Bowl? I don't think so. Like, it doesn't feel like it.
Nothing, yeah, one, and that was it.
Like, if it is maybe one, like that's like he's the only. I think he's the only one in the current setup that's going to be up on the ring.
But yeah, if you see that this, like, just the big names, Buckner, Nelson, Taylor, Stewart, and Kenny Moore, who were free agents in 2027.
Yeah, Kenny did.
Actually, you have to trade this year probably at least one of them or two, because you don't have money to pay all of them next year.
No.
So,
no, and a lot of them are going to age out. Kenny's going to age out. Buck's going to age out.
Well, Buck could be depending on this neck. Like,
yeah,
it's been pretty quiet on that. I know there's been positives coming over and thing, and he needs to. It's not about now until the start of the season. It's going to be about what the impact for the first 5 games is, and again, it's down to. He is probably going to become. We still. I know he was. He's really a two down play and then reverse out, like, depending on where we are on the field and what it will be. But they're going to have to use them sparingly if that's the point. Biggest thing is all of these players that we mentioned before. Buckner, when he's not on the field, is like, the stats show that he's a massive loss. Tyquan Lewis was as well. Who was it? Grover. When Grover wasn't there on the run game, we just got pummeled, like, every time Grover Stewart wasn't there. Like, so I think I think they have to work out again this year with regards of who plays in what position, or who plays in what snaps and when, and they need to be careful of that. And injuries are going to play a factor. But hopefully the Buck one does solve itself and we can get another full season out of them. It'd be great. Like,
yeah, definitely. I think if we weren't in this scenario of having a win, I think Buck could be gone. I think Grove would definitely be gone, and then you could argue for Quentin. If we were starting again, obviously JT would get traded away. You'd probably cash in on a bunch of them. But I think where we're at now, I think we probably have to run it back with all of them. Kenny Moore is. I mean, it kills me because I actually love Kenny, but he's probably the only one that I could see. Maybe not even being traded, just being released. If it's a big cap save, and I don't know what it is. I think it's like something about 7 or 8, 9 million. I think could happen. You got Justin Wally. I think they were high on till he injured himself in training camp. Cornerback is assuming that Mooney Ward is coming back, which I think seems like a certainty at this stage.
You said all indications as he was like you wanted to, but. Yeah. I also don't think anyone would have a problem if he said no either. Like, it's
no, absolutely no. From a
health point of view, yeah,
I'd be quite happy for him to just go and be happy with his family and take care of himself. But it seems like he's coming back. But I do wonder whether we probably need to focus on a cornerback 2-3, because even if he does come back, is he going to be fully healthy the whole season? Probably not.
And probably how long he will be back. I mean, maybe he's coming back, and after, if he hit another concussion,
that's
probably retire that moment.
I think at some point the team has to be like, well, look, we're just not going to put you out there. Like, you can't keep throwing someone out there because he's just going to end up having no brain by the time he's 40 years old. So. I think I could see us needing to do something at cornerback, whether we do it in the draft, maybe kind of a mid-round cornerback. Safety. We have lost Nick Cross, unfortunately. That was a shame.
It was funny that the amount of people that was like, can Nick Cross put 40 pounds on and push a bit closer to the thing, because he was so like, his tackling was just so good and as fast, like his breaks through the middle when we did do a blitz, like he was the best at it as well. We're like, oh, if he could put not 40 pounds, but if he could put another 15 pounds of muscle on and move a little bit further up, geez, he'd be some rush against the with his speed, like
Yeah.
It is a gap. It is a gap. That's the problem now. Like, and let's say, Waller's gonna come back. Every time we mention anybody on this pod so far, we've referenced injuries. Like, we have to get some sort of luck at some point with regards of consistency on the teams. And I know I put up the other day to some of the lads to say that I don't think it's a coincidence that the Seahawks had such a good season and it was fairly clean throughout most of it for their key players in the key positions. And it just feels like we've never got that look. Do you know?
Yeah.
I remember they blamed the turf at Lucas Oil at one point, and then they changed that, and check for an Indian burial ground probably under the training facility, the old school ways.
Wasn't it was it the Niners who were blaming like the
power substation?
Yeah.
Like that's like you're talking something from The Simpsons now with the three-eyed fish, like Blinky coming up like in the thing.
Desperate at that point.
Well, we do. We massively need a bit of luck in the key positions to keep it. It starts with Daniel Jones and it works as throughout the team from there. But it starts with Daniel Jones. End of the day, that has to work no matter what. And if we can keep our fitness levels throughout the thing, I think we have a really good shot at being competitive again. I will say our schedule is horrendous. It's so scary versus what last year's one was on paper. I do think if we played the same way we did at the start of last season, I think our games are going to be brilliant to watch and they're going to be unbelievably competitive. And if we come out the other side really well of it, like it's going to harden us up going into the middle to the end part of the season, which would be great. I'm excited. I can't believe we're talking about the season. It's the 12th of March. Like this is how exciting it can get at times. Like we need this throughout the summer. Like,
yeah, exactly. No, I mean, this season, I'd like to see us finish the season strong. Obviously, last year it was not going to happen with all the injuries and stuff like that. But you looked at like the Texans and the Jags, and they were garbage at the start of the season, and then when it matters, they hit form. That's what I'd like to see from this Colts team next year, which I think, and that's one of the things that has been kind of put on Steichen's shoulders is not being able to finish games, not being able to finish seasons, sort of thing. I think that's one of the things that he's got to kind of prove this year, that he can get this team in the right headspace go. And a lot of there is luck involved as well, of course, with injuries. That absolutely has to come down to it. But I mean, there's so many variables. Like the Colts is never boring. Colts football was never boring because there's so many variables that can. Like, the Chiefs fans, they get to sit here and go, oh, well, we've got Mahomes, so it will be fine. Like, we'll be there or thereabouts. Whereas we could be anywhere from picking in the top 5 to Super Bowl champions. Like, it genuinely feels like that every year. Like, I feel like I say it every year. And I don't think...
The Chiefs have gone downhill since some of their merch is now on sale on Primark. So, yeah. Andreas, Primark is like a budget. Primark. Yeah, I went to there's one today. I buy my little fellas like baby stuff there in the cheap at times. It's great. And they had Chiefs and Eagles unofficial gear, but officially unofficial gear. It was just funny to see it, and I was there going, can you imagine the Colts? I'd literally be going in just I'll take this. Like, would have been hilarious. Who can I ask, right, and just say, who else have you seen last week that's got you excited in the league, just from a football fan in general? I know for me it was Mike Evans going to the Niners was like,
oh
my God, that's going to be touchdown central, like for Mike Evans up there. Like, anyway, who else is anyone that's been majors excited over football fans?
I mean, Kenneth Walker of the Chiefs. That feels like he could do some serious damage there. But yeah, I was going to say the same as you before you said it was Mike Evans. Like, I like Mike Evans. Like, if I could, I think I said it with the JJ pod that if I could pick a player to play for the Colts, it would be Mike Evans. I think he's just he's like Pittman but on steroids sort of thing. Like, he's just a proper old school receiver. So, but yeah, no, I think Kenneth Walker will feast in Kansas, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a huge deal and a great deal is Lindenbaum to the Raiders. It's awesome too, given probably Fernando Mendoza, an amazing center in front of him.
Did you see the money he got?
Yeah. He got
and it was like the Ravens couldn't pay him because they thought they have to pay Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Did you read that the Ravens GM, I think it was the GM, it was either the GM or the owner, come out and said we were planning on having both of them, Crosby and Hendrickson? I was like, what a load of nonsense that is.
Yeah.
That's about as big a lie as you can make up.
But the Raiders have gone. They're going. It feels like they're going to win now. Like on who they've kind of gone with the money, and they've said they're honouring their contracts that have already been spent on that. Mendoza going in would be like it'd be surprised if they didn't go for him as number one. Like on their centre, but
it would be interesting to see what Pay does for Vegas. Be interesting to see what is, because his return has always been kind of fine for the Colts. Like, he's a great run defender, just didn't, I guess, for where we picked him, isn't what we wanted from a pass rush perspective. But it'd be interesting to see when you're opposite Crosby, what that does to Pay. See what interesting to see how he does.
The thing. Quee Pay's highlight for the Colts in the whole time was his draft phone call, and you hear Jim just going, "Hey, Quiddy!" Like that was just the high. Everything else after that paling coincidence or paling comparison after that, but that was like Jim, just like quintessential Jim, just doing the slow, and it was a real drawn out one as well. Like, and I remember when the picture went up from him, and he looked like his head was like massive, and he just looked like a beast. And we were like, "Oh my God, we're drafting Quee Pay. This is going to be unbelievable." And things. Okay, and then I don't know how. Like the agents in the NFL are, like, must be like literal sorcerers for what they can pull out of some of these GMs. Like, because there's no way I think he's worth that money. Based on the thing. So they've played a blinder again, whoever's representing them in trade, like, you know.
It's just so like positional, isn't it? When you look for value for money, when you compare Quee Pay, what did he get? 3 years, 48, was it?
48
million? And then Nick Cross, 2 years, 14 million. You think value for money wise, like, as Colts fans, we're like, well, I know which one I would pick out of them two contracts.
I might be wrong, but isn't the tax implications in Vegas much lower because of the thing with they get us? So the state tax that they play on thing is much lower in Vegas. So when you get your actual pay is actually like proper pay, like that you get in that one. Like
that's the mad thing, isn't it? I mean, was it Darnold that lost like half his money from the Super Bowl because it was Californian taxes? It's just crazy. I think, like, you'd assume that they would have come up with some sort of embargo for the NFL where they're like, well, we want everyone to pay a similar tax, like, rather than having players getting taxed.
This is not to be used in any official legal things or whatever, but you'd be mad to think that there's not some Caribbean country has a bank somewhere that there's a like if I have that much money, I'm definitely looking at not trying to do paying as much tax as I can. Like, when it comes to that, they know what they're doing. The money is crazy as what's going through the league. Like, it is It is hilarious to see that. I got to ask Charlie Smith from the Irish kicker for the Saints, who was over here in Ireland like pre-season before pre-season before he went over, and I asked him about one of the things I asked him was about the difference. Like, he plays GAA, like our local sport here in Ireland, beforehand, and then going to the Saints, and what the money was like, and the not necessarily the money as such, but the whole professionalism and the style and just everything around it. And he said even things like it was the equipment is like, they have equipment that like judges how your hip moves and all this and that. And he said the attention to detail that goes into it and the money involved to do that is why the money is so big for everything. Yeah. It's the minute factors in everything that they look at. And it was a good conversation, like just to get the insights. But I just feel like this year's money is starting to become a bit. For every Raiders deal on one side, you've got the Nick Cross one that seems to steal on the other side, So it'd be interesting to see how next few weeks go as well, and there's any more out there.
Yeah. So and guys, we're close to 90 minutes talking actually.
I think I done 80 of that.
This must be a record, I'd say. I don't think we've.
Yeah, actually, it's actually our longest episode so far. I think I'm pretty sure. So, do any one of you guys have something we need to talk about?
Well, actually, just talking quickly, you mentioned Charlie Smith, kicker. Obviously, Blake Groupie got his deal. We have a kicker training camp battle, and I'm all for it. I think. I would be surprised if Groupie wasn't the kicker week 1, and I feel bad for Schrader. He's got dealt a bad hand. He obviously had the rotating door the year before last, on and off the practice squad, and then he got his chance and he was kicking well. Yeah. But for me, the comparison I would do is the Broncos kick that Schrader had, the first one before they gave us the penalty. Like it was 60-yarder indoors to win the game, and it was terrible. Like I feel like he actually kicked the turf. Like it was just a complete shank. Yeah. And then you've got Blake Groupie to what should have won the game, but the Colts defense did what they do. 60-yarder outside in Seattle and absolutely drilled it. So for me, I'm like, I think he already has the advantage for me.
Yeah, it's the most cutthroat position, I think, in any sport.
Yeah,
like never in the rotation of it, like the amount of kickers that must be out there who are like in the top 1% as well of what they do that can't get a look in because of 2 or 3 bad misses or whatever. You're gone. Never seen nothing like it. But I agree, Schrader Groupie for me is number 1. Ironically, wasn't he was cut by the Saints because he missed them and ended up Charlie Smith getting the starting position.
He was awful for the Saints, which is what makes it's a proper Cinderella story how bad he was for New Orleans. But yeah, and the kicker's a hard one for me. Training camp battle for me, a kicker is like you can't really recreate that situation. I guess to a certain extent you can say, well, I might lose my job if I miss this kick in camp. So I guess maybe mentally they can kind of get themselves in that position, but you can't prepare yourself for making that Seattle kick with 30 seconds to go or making the kick with 3 seconds. There's no way to put that. It's like being down the driving range, like a golf driving range, and your driver's going down the middle every time. Then you step up on the first tee, and all of a sudden, your backside falls out of you, and all the nerves come in, and you just can't recreate it. So, but yeah, for me, I'm happy with either, but I think Groupie for me will be our kicker come September.
Think so, yeah, probably.
Nothing else from me, lads. I think we've cut off loads. I would like to officially say well done to Lucas in becoming our International Fan of the Year as well. Like much like if ever anyone deserved that, this kid did. Like he's just been brilliant for representing Blue Crew and Colts in Europe, and I really hope it evolves into something a lot bigger for him. over the next couple of years. I hope he is in Pittsburgh and gets to give us live updates of how things are going. It's 6 weeks to the draft, so I'm going to leave it on whatever happens in the free agency over the next couple of weeks. Brilliant trades, wherever. I'm so looking forward to us having a solid draft. I think this is the big one for the Colts. Have to pull what we have left out of the bag. Or what is it? Is it 3-6 rounds or 3-7 rounds or something we have? We have the thing, and so we are going to have to go deep and try and find talent in there. So let's hope the lads work their arse off for that. But otherwise, no, for me, it was just great chatting to you guys. Andreas, last word, go for it. What do you think?
What? Sorry.
What do you think as last word? What do you think next?
Yeah, sign us off, Andreas. Sign us off.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just hit me on the wrong feet.
But yeah.
It's gonna be cardiac Colts even in March and April, isn't it?
We wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, no, I'll piggyback on what you said about Lucas. It's awesome. I think I don't know, Andreas, if you spoke to him. I know I mentioned to him we're going to try and get him on maybe around the draft time if we can figure it out. So
yeah, he said he will be a time after the draft around in the US. I think he comes back mid-May or something like that. And sounds good. Yeah, we will probably have a break back then. But I'm pretty sure in training camp or stuff like that, we will have him with us.
We're gonna have to book it in with his agent. He's gonna sign with the same agents that have done the Raiders deals. Cheers, Heinrich. Yeah.
You too, Flo.
So, guys, everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening a long time today. I hope everyone enjoyed. Thank you, Andy, for being with us. It was a great episode. Cheers, and go Colts.
Go Colts. Cheers, Andy. Go Colts.